Hey Gears, Coach Fitz here. So this is a quick video on how to help you guys get up to speed on using the Unity tutorial for the augmented reality shooter game. And there are loads of things that we could do with it once we get it up and running and you guys are all feeling comfortable with it. So I wanted to show you where the idea came from. So it was from N3KN. I don't know who this person is. He left a lot out of the descriptions, so which is why I think it was important that I pulled it together for you guys. But these are where it started from, and as you guys know, I put it for you on the Google Drive, so you can download the Unity package. Then you're going to import the Unity package. Once you've done that, and you're inside Unity, you're going to see something that looks like this. Now, I know a lot of you haven't used Unity a ton, but try not to be intimidated by it. Generally, it's a piece of cake, and if you get stuck, you can always ask somebody who's been working on it a little bit longer. Up here, you'll see which scene we're in. In this case, we're in the preloader scene, and if I go over here to scenes, there's a game menu and a preloader. The preloader is the first scene. It doesn't do anything. What it does is it has the game manager object. And the game manager object persists across every scene, which is why it's in the preloader scene. It controls the gameplay. There are a lot of different ways you could design a scene. In this case, the kid who originally designed this game thought this was the most efficient way to go. The game manager has a script, which I'm going to show you in a second, and it contains the levels. These levels aren't levels, they're not scenes, they're levels, and what it is they look like, pull it up here. Going to our prefabs. Where did I put the levels? There they are. And you'll see that each level is really just an object made up of blocks, and they're arranged in different ways, so that you can make your own levels if you wanted to. And in order to make a level, you would go over here and you would change it. So no big deal, easy to do. The game manager has a script, which I mentioned. This is a script here. And the only thing that's different than normal, it adds this command systemcollections.generic. And then just to walk you through the code for this one, it creates a game manager instance and it keeps it persistent. It says the original level is 0, and then it adds 1 to it when you complete a level by knocking blocks down. It has the game object level prefabs, which is a list. It contains all of the objects that you're going to put in there for the shooter to shoot at, and it keeps track of the blocks. So when the program is launched, it awakes. It creates an instance of the game manager. It says don't destroy on load. In other words, once you've made it, keep it. And then it changes the scene to the menu. That's the first thing that happens. Now you'll notice it calls this function change scene, which is this function here. And it takes a string input. A string is a list of characters. And then that list of characters should be the scene name, and then it loads that scene. So in this case, it takes the title menu. So far so good. And maybe we'll even just start with that and keep it really simple. There's also a create level, a remove block, and a victory function. We'll come back to those as we need them. So the first scene is a game manager. When you, excuse me, the preloader scene, once you run it, it will create a game manager instance, and then it will switch scenes to the menu. And you can see over here that we switched into the menu. The menu has a whole lot more going on. And you can see right away that the menu has a canvas. And if we look over here at canvas, just think of it like from painting. It's the background. And you can change it. It's pink right now because Luke digs pink. It started out originally as blue. You can make it any color you want. You could take a screenshot of your face and plug it in there, and that would be fine. It also has on this page, if I expand the canvas down, an image, which is the background, and that's where we could change it. It has a button, which is the play game button. The button gets a little tricky because it calls a function. I think this was a little wonky from the menu manager. So let's just go into the menu manager real quick. And there's one function, on play button click change the scene to game. That's all it does. And I think there are some other ways to do that, but this isn't my tutorial. I didn't write the original game. I'm just showing you guys how the kid who did it did, so that you guys can modify it the way you want to. So if we click on the play game, that's going to change us to the game scene. And we'll see that change up here as well. And there I am. There's our background. You can see that we are in the game scene, and we have a whole bunch of objects over here. We have a floor, which is what our block rests on. We have the block itself, which you can see right there. We have some game objects which do a variety of things, such as mark where our objects are in the scene. So we're going to turn that off, return back into the game. So the big thing that you guys are going to be working with, and let's go back to, let's go into scenes. Oh, we're still in the preloader, so that's good. Let's go into the game. Actually, we need to go into the game scene. So double click on scene, go into the game. So the game contains the augmented reality camera, which is a plugin from Vuforia. And as you guys know, you guys have watched me do it a couple of times. We use this Vuforia package in order to do the image tracking. And this might take a little while for you to get comfortable with. We talked about how there's an app license key. This should be in the package when you open it. And there are going to be some choices of some databases to use. So in this case, I am using, let's go right over here to our image target. I am using the Augmented Reality Test 3 database, and I'm using the Sorta Scrappy QR code. And if I scroll through this window, you can see that that's the QR tag for Sorta Scrappy that Andrew and Miles made. Now, what we're hoping is that as you guys test out some of these different packages, so if I go into AR Test 2, I believe I can grab our, nope, that's not the one I want. I want AR Test 3, and I want to pull up our BWild card. So we can see that our BWild card is loaded into the game now, and that's the target that it'll be scanning. That didn't work for us when we tried it at my house, but it might work for you at yours. So it'd be good to give it a try. So also on this page is the gun. The gun does the shooting, and it works virtually by just clicking on the screen and it'll shoot. So far so good. The question is, how do you upload an image into Vuforia so that you can make the changes you might want to make? So one way to do this is just to do the Vuforia developer. We'll go right into the developer portal. And we can go into login. You can set up your own account. It doesn't take long. It's pretty easy to do. And then we hop into our account info. Go into develop. So we see here we have a key, and if I just click on that, it'll pull up the license key. You can just copy and paste that. Then we also have our target managers. And I have a bunch of different target managers. So AR Test 3 was the most recent one. If you just click on it, it'll show you the images that are in there, and we can add a target. And I've been setting the width as 10 just because it's a nice number. We can choose any file we want, so go into Browse. One of the things we've run into is that it has to be a specific type of image file. So if you're using a PNG file, for example, it might get upset. So here's some of the other targets that I've used. Just select on one. This one has worked really well. In fact, it's the only one that's worked well. Click Open. So we'll call this the, okay, it's good. And then what do we want to call it? We'll call it notebook. Click add. So now it's uploaded. Then we're going to download our database for the Unity editor. Click download. Then save file. And then for me, I go into show all downloads. Yours might look different. Go into Unity. So we're going to go to assets, import new asset. What wasn't what I wanted. I want import package, custom package. And then over here we can just grab ARTest3, click open, and it will import it. I want all of it. Luke, can you get me the notebook? You can see down the bottom of the screen, it's now importing. And nothing's changed, but what's happened now is if I go into my image target ARTest3, I have my notebook option. So now if I click play, we know that this notebook works. Oh, I have to go back to the preloader to get everything I need. So I'm going to save this scene before I do that. Anytime I make changes, you have to save them. So go into the preloader. Now I run the game. I want to play the game. Well, we know we've gotten it to work. You just have to trust me that it does work. I'm not sure why it's not working right now. So we can go back and do a little bit of troubleshooting. Let's go into the game. Let's go into our image target. Let's take a look from above. That looks good. Our image target looks okay. Look on our floor. Zoom in a little bit on the image target. So there we go. Let's try it again. Everything looks okay. This makes me think there might just be something wrong with my particular computer and that you guys might have more luck at home.